you know, the world will still be turning. All the people in other countries who have health care will still be sticking around chilling. It's just the Americans who are going away, it seems. That's where all my sand went. Why didn't y'all tell me that's where I put all my sand? No. Jump.
And that's where the term came from. And then, you know, you hear it in diners. You know, 2 eggs sunny side up. Wait, we're 86 on eggs newer. Yeah. Dave Rubin came up with a new term because coding. If you are a right-winger, you know all the details to this because this is the big scandal right now. Not the stuff where they're attempting to get rid of all the scientists in the country. Not the stuff where they're attempting to pull people off the street and disappearing them for writing op-eds. Not the defunding of colleges and universities. Not the defunding of the EPA, USDA, FDA.
Yeah, yo, it's scary times, but we will make it. Right now, I implore you to check into your communities. Keep checked in with your fellow people around you. Because in times like this, it is your duty to do not what the government wants you to do, but the opposite of that. Right now, the government wants you scared. The government wants you on the back foot. The government wants you ready to run. Don't be. Instead, think about this, folks. And I do mean it. A little bit of seriousness for your fun Minecraft morning. But think about this. Why do we live? Why do we choose every day to climb off of our couches, out of our hammocks, out of our tents, and from our front seats or back seats? If out of a bed, if you're bougie and fancy. But why do we get up? Why do we do it? The eating, the indigestion, the leg pain, the foot pain, the back pain, the headaches, the caffeine withdrawal followed by taking in way too much because you've been withdrawing from it. The bitching, the crying, the screaming, the alarms. Why? Why do you do it? Why I do it? Well, the reason I do it is because I hope that one day, in some small way, me getting up and going through these stupid fucking motions will actually help somebody. I'll be able to say, hey, I gave that person a meal when they wouldn't have otherwise gotten one. And they seem very pleased with it. Hey, I got to teach somebody a new lesson. That's pretty fucking cool. I brightened that person's day. They genuinely gave a laugh. Not a fake, but no, an actual, like, oh, I got him. I fucking ate that. I got him. That's what I live for. That's why I get up. And yeah, some days, I'll go days, sometimes even weeks on bad times, and I won't get a snicker, won't get a laugh. Yeah, my boss will throw me one of those pity I mean a real one. And it's not an easy life, y'all. Trust, being funny is surprisingly difficult and dark. But it's worth it. It's well worth it if you can make someone's day better, especially if they otherwise wouldn't have one. On top of that, I'd say you get up, if not for the people, if not for yourself and for your loved ones, for your community, for the people around you, for your loved ones. Well, I just said not for your loved ones. But you know what I mean, right? For your pets, for the pigeons you feed in the park, for the mice you feed in the diner areas. Stop eating my headphones, please. And with that, we have made it to day 80, y'all. We are on the peak. We are the unkillables. Now we're about to get killed by a creeper. But I hope not. I currently have a little baby corn kitten sitting on my headphones, and I hope the connection's still good, because I don't want to be misconstrued here. What I'm saying, y'all, is you're important. You're important to me if you're here helping my numbers. You're important to the local barista who you get coffee from if you can afford such luxury. You're important to every person you meet. And when the inevitable time comes, and that inevitable time is coming for us all eventually, chat, or cat, but when that time comes and we are gone from this world, we will feed a whole host of bacterium, and new cells and new life will grow. Guys, what I'm telling you is, much like when I was trying to be confident with my lawyer, even though he seemed to be confident, guys, it will continue. We will make it. Just like the people before us that were almost wiped out. You will, well, maybe not you, but your people, we will survive. I'm mostly just saying, folks, as I gear up to walk through a deluge of a storm, according to the weather report. Seize your day, folks. Carpe fission. Seize your fish, folks, is what I'm saying. It's like that very, very bougie book I'm currently reading on how to taste coffee better. Really, I'm just curious, because it is weird that we drink things like alcohol, pickle juice, and coffee. Fuck, hopefully not together, though. But it's weird that we drink these things, you know, because it's like, it's literally something you drink and your body's saying, oh god, it's poison, I'm gonna die. And then after you don't die, your body goes, maybe that wasn't so bad, let's get a bit more. It's like how anyone can drink a White Claw, just find your flavor. But finding a wine, well, that's a little more labor intensive. Finding a good Jägermeister, well, that's real labor intensive, because I'd say that there isn't a single one of those licorice alcohols out there that anyone's going to enjoy. Not on the first go. Now, get a few in you, tie some good memories to that alcohol. Oh, bet. But just on its own, I mean, are you the sick fuck that loves black licorice? Are you the type of, you know, are you a monster secretly? I'm kidding, of course. Black licorice needs love too. And honestly, the right, I can't do it, Chad, I ain't gonna lie to you, I fucking hate black licorice. I don't like most licorice on its own. But given the choice, I'd rather be dead than not eat red licorice. Please don't make me sound like a Republican there, folks. I'm not. I care, and I know that the Overton window needs to be moved constantly towards the positive side. Because for every comedian like myself who's trying their best to get you laughs, I don't feel comfortable with this joke anymore. With any comedian like Hannah who's trying to get you good, solid yucks without, you know, being a racist, being a bigoted piece of shit. For every one of those, there's a Rob Schneider. Hey kids, you want to listen to me make a racist noise with my face? It's like, Rob Schneider's one of the few white folks I know that got away with doing black and yellow face within my lifetime. Like, we don't even talk about, like, I almost said Anthony Hopkins. He didn't do it to my knowledge. He might have, but to my knowledge he did. Iron Man, Tony Stark, Robert Downey Jr. I mean, Robert Downey Jr. did blackface too, but he did it in Tropic Thunder. And I don't, like I said, this is an awkward subject for me to talk about because I'm not of the community. It feels weird for a white person to be saying, yeah, that white person can say it. Not my word, bruh. again, that'd be like you walking out of the store. Man, I don't want to walk home. Hey, can I borrow this car? Sure, buddy, go ahead. Thanks. Why did I get arrested? It wasn't my car. That's how I feel it is, you know? It's like, I'm not going to say you can't. I'm going to say you shouldn't. And I'm going to say the whole, well, it's not consequence culture, it's impeding my free speech. Fuck you. No, it's not. I'm sorry, it's, in 2025, this isn't even a debate anymore. If an edgelord comes up and they're like, but it's a free speech issue, literally just look at him and go, no, it's not, you're just a fucking racist, let's move on. Because most of the time, y'all, it is they're just a fucking racist. It's not worth talking about. Let's move on.
Because it's slow moving, and any type of treatment is going to be more problematic than the actual slow moving prostate cancer. So you don't bother doing that because
I don't know how I got on racial issues the episode, but I'm trying to avoid, you know, some of the darker shit. Also, can someone tell me, like, is Ethan Klein on cocaine? I'm not making a false accusation. I'm a child of the 90s, and every villain who got into drugs looked like Ethan Klein looks now. Like somebody turned the sepia or whatever it is all the way up on his monitor and made his lines real extra dark. Like again, I'm just gonna say, he looks like he's having a rough go of it. And I'm not trying to demean anyone. I'm not trying to demoralize anyone. I'm not saying that he's on cocaine because I don't know him. But I'm just saying, if every time I said 3 words, I sort of sporadically sniffed, y'all would think I was on something, right? That's like you do it one stream, okay, poor fella's got a sinus problem. I feel that. You do it every other stream, though, and it starts to be like, Is it? Is it a sinus problem? That being said, I don't know how you can do it either, because just doing that fucked my sinuses something good. Now I got a slight headache. But at the end of the day, folks, I'm just saying, don't let your hatred drive the wheel. Take the wheel, whatever. Don't let your hatred drive you, because that's a sad way to live. And take it from me, I don't even know you. We can't talk yet. But I know you're better than that, chat. I know you're better.
Certain features of language models that kind of work as like an intern sort of like research capabilities. The people that are impressed that it is the voice of God are people who you wouldn't want to hire to be interns. Yeah. But it would make sense that conservatives maybe fall in love with the machine. Make it some kind of oracle. Or right, yeah, like see it as a god. They don't have media literacy, so that would make sense. Gonna argue with the robot. Right. About how rich people should get tax breaks. Hey folks, don't forget to hit the subscribe button and check out our daily show. We do it every day at 12 p.m. Eastern for about 2.5 hours. We even take phone calls.
I'm sorry, it's a little scary to build things this high up, because at this point if I fall, I'm dead, and that's 80 days. 80 days gone if I fall. Not to mention, this is a really pretty level.
It's hard to figure out over at CNN who actually, because I know that Wolf Blitzer did. Yes, I think I'd accidentally mixed that up before. I don't think Jay Tapp.
Let's go back to sleep, Raha. We're so tired. This is Miss Rachel, hanging out with her new friend, Raha. Miss Rachel is like YouTube's Mr. Rogers, with millions of subscribers and billions of views.
You're not, yes?
And Raha Rahaf is a 3-year-old double amputee from Gaza. She lost her legs when her home was bombed, and months later was medically evacuated to the U.S. Miss Rachel saw a video of the little girl, now living with her mom and a host family in Missouri, watching her show. She's just so precious, hopping like a bunny, and she was kind of hopping on the couch, and arranged to have Rahaf come visit her in New York. Rahaf is part of a new group of fans Miss Rachel discovered last year. Refugees of the war in Gaza. I was tagged in a video of a toddler and a brother and a sister watching in a tent. And
Nope.
I saw the
Not
toddler
gonna cry.
and
There's nothing wrong with crying for the record, chat, but without context, it's kind of weird. Right now, there's a Hassan stream talking about Miss Rachel.
that during unimaginable circumstances. Did you know that you had this
Can
audience?
give me a second? I just sorry, y'all, but can we just take a minute to realize how fucking horrifying it is that the United States, my country, has a beef with a woman who is just trying to make children's lives better in an active war zone that we are causing to make the IDF feel better. I genuinely, y'all, I'm not one for call to actions. I think we should be beyond that with each other. But as I feel the annoying, hot, angry tears fall down my cheeks, I just think to myself, I pity the motherfucker who tries to call out Miss Rachel in front of me today. Because I'll straight up just tell him, what are you, a fucking genocidal bigot, you piece of shit, you sorry scum-sucking son of a bitch? I got nothing but fucking salt and fire for the goddamn IDF. Lots of love for my fellow. I'm not Israeli, I'm not Hebrew in any way. I guess I have some somewhere, but splitting the hairs. Either way. Yeah, everyone's got a right to live. Especially those kids. And watching this little bitty double amputee kid that just barely survived an entire 2 countries trying to murder her, hiding out in the U.S. because, yes, the IDF will shoot a child for fun. It's disheartening, y'all. I'm sorry. I'm going to try to bring the stream back up. It's just... Oh. The horrors, chat. The fucking true... There are not words for me to describe this. I need a writer in chat. Because the genuine horror that we see on a daily basis. And this is... I'm an adult. I was there for again... Spiritually, I was there for 9/11. We watched it in my elementary school. We saw the people die on TV. It was tragic. Can we all pretend now that it's in the back burner? Because yes, it was a tragedy, and yes, it was sad. But that was, what, 30,000 Americans to be on the generous side of it? 475 years we've been funding the genocide of the people that did that. And again, I'm not saying that it's right. I'm not saying that the Taliban was on they certainly weren't on the people's side there. But at the same time, okay, let's take it to a different level. Every day, you get up, you come to your place of business, I kick you in the balls. Every single day. Not a day passes that we are together there that I don't kick you in the balls once. At some point. And then one day, after months of just randomly getting kicked in the balls, or vulva, you eventually just, you know what, fuck this prick. As you walk in and I say, hey, what's up? You fucking just punch me right in the dick. Just right in the dick. You bastard, I don't like that shit. What would happen? I mean, how would you feel if literally everyone at the place of business and the police and everyone else, you monster, how dare you? That person was innocent. That person had dreams. They wanted to touch their scrot this afternoon. How dare you do that, monster? I mean, would that be... Again, this is trying to lambaste and make funny of something that is most certainly not funny. But... what...
What is the local crackhead think about Israel's genocide? Is it real? Do the Palestinians deserve less?
Like I said, I
You know?
just...
Is less more? Here's the local crackhead. Yeah, stop being sensitive.
I'm not the voice of reason here, y'all. I'm just the funny guy giving you chats over the internet. I genuinely think we should give Ethan Klein all the smoke. I think when you deal with a genocide apologist, you should treat them as a genocide apologist, i.e. a garbage human being. And I don't think there's any in between here. It's the same thing as, I'm sorry if I see you wearing a Trump hat. I'm writing you off as garbage, illiterate garbage. That's all I'm writing you off as, period. Point blank, done. Now don't get me wrong, I'm not going to be like violent to you. I'm not one of your kind. I'm not a Trump supporter. Wildly barbaric by nature. But I am going to just, oh wow. Wow, okay, so that's someone that I don't need to talk to, because if they have to formulate a sentence on their own, their brain's going to not allow them to breathe. As I said, my problem with the Trump supporters is just their real dangerous levels of stupid. And the ones who are, well, let's just find a middle ground. Okay, are you going to find a middle ground while your house is burning down? Are we going to just let the fire take the living room but not the bedrooms? Maybe we'll just give it a bathroom, but we don't allow it to take the living room or the bedroom. Oh, well, it took the kitchen, the living room, and all the bedrooms, and now we're living in a smoldering pile. Again, this is not a call to violence. Don't be violent. Make you a sticker, chat. Get you some Elmer's glue. Get you some paper. You can, both of these things can surely be found fairly easily. Make a sticker says, don't be an asshole, or why are you such a cunt? Now when you see someone with a Trump supporter sticker on their car, glue, why are you such a cunt over Trump supporter? I mean, is it wrong? Yeah, it's vandalism. Don't do vandalism. Vandalism bad. Is it? No, it's not that bad. I mean, again, do y'all remember the soup dialogue? You know, the active members of Gen Z that aren't just checking out, and the people for a better tomorrow, whatever, they threw soup on a glass case, and all the dickbags lost their fucking minds. Yeah, y'all remember that, right? You wanna know why they threw soup on some bougie cunt painting? Because kids, y'all doing good. Because adults, if the world is on fire, who the fuck cares about Monet? If the world is burning down, who gives a shit about the Mona Lisa? It's not going to survive once Paris is burning. You know what we didn't give a shit about? If the people pulling okay, this one's a bit of a history lesson. There was a group in World War II. The Monuments Men is a movie based on them. But basically it was a platoon of art historians and scientists, mostly historians, who would disguise themselves as Germans or as whatever and steal the artwork before the Nazis had a chance to destroy it or steal it. Yeah, you want to know why they did that? Because you can't just put artwork on display while horrible shit's going on. People do things to it, or they take it. And here's the thing, did the Monuments Men do that because, oh my god, we need to protect these ancient pieces of fabric? No, they did it because the Nazis were destroying it. These kids ain't destroying anything, they're just marking it. They're making you think, which is why I think most people hate the kids that are doing it. We hate thinking. Big dumb smarties making us think with our weak little smooth brains. We want it fed to us easy, right? Make it easy for me. Like I said, that's my biggest problem, chat. Read a book. Do the hard thing. Watch the whole thing, you know? Eat your vegetables, as it were. And then when you too get to day 80, like I have had to sneak that in there, you too can feel wildly proud of yourself. Possibly too proud of oneself. But at the end of the day, we are what we are. I am the byproduct of Southern racism, just as you are the byproduct of whatever made you. And at the end of the day, I cannot change who I am. But I can change how I act externally, which will inevitably change who I am internally. The byproduct of what we are and our starting point is not our ending point. The story only ends when you're dead or you choose to end it. So that's what I'm saying, chat. Just don't allow yourself to get frustrated because that's natural. But don't stop, chat. Don't stop growing. Get better, do better.
Now, it's worse than that. Miss Rachel was effectively being forced to adopt an All Lives Matter stance, and that is too offensive. And that is too offensive to the Israeli advocates responding with a White Lives Matter more. Yeah. That is what it is, dude. I don't want to watch that full video again. I almost cried last time I watched it. I'm sorry. I can't watch it again.
I feel you, Zon. I did cry a little.
Baby.
Like I said, it's just, goddamn, y'all. Just, goddamn. I'm not going back into it. Just, goddamn. Hell, I see dipshit rednecks riding around with kill your local pedo shirts on. I'm just thinking, or kill your local pedo stickers on their shit. And I'm just like, cool, when you're gonna start going after the billionaires, you fuck. Oh no, you're just an edgy boy with no actual fucking spine. My bad. I thought we were men.
Reason to do political spending in the future, I will do it. I do not currently see a reason.
Again, not a call to action, but it's like, again, it's just a weird double standard, right? And by no means am I defending pedos here. You'll quickly come to understand if you watch my in-depth talks of things. I don't view those people as having a right to live. But, that being said, if I had a sticker that implied, hey, kill your local pig, I think the cops would get on to me. I think they'd make me take down my sticker, wouldn't they? Because it's a call to action. You're calling to violence. It's the same reason that for some reason I can't play NWO, NWO Ice-T's body bags. It makes them feel unsafe. I get it. It'd be very unpleasant hearing people cheer and sing about, we want you to fucking die. It'd be very upsetting to hear that you are in fact the bad guys in the story. But at the same time, you want to know what makes you the bad guy versus the others? Yeah, nobody that I know of liked Ahmed the Undead Terrorist, or Ahmed the Dead Terrorist. We also didn't call for him to be forced to stop. People asked him to stop, as you might have befriended something really stupid and racist. Talking about Jeff Dunham toys. But I mean, hell, it's... How do you work with people that don't mind just being their own laughing stock? Because they laughed at Bubba Gump, too. It's okay to be racist if you're racist to everyone, right? I think we should just stop being racist, y'all. I think we've come to a time in our lives when we can just... Racism's bad. Don't be racist. Then again, what the fuck do I know, y'all? I'm just a fucking fry cook, and I read books. And the most current books that I'm reading are mostly art books on perspective and how to draw. Which I am working on to make better sketches for y'all. Those don't get a lot of traction, and I'm fine with it, because, no, chat, you must love my artwork. You must. I'm not a billionaire. I'm not that sensitive. I do hope that I'm making good artwork for y'all, though, so I'm trying. That's the line, you know? It's not that I'm pay attention to me, father, mother, but it is, hey, y'all, I don't just want to be drawing shit on a page, you know? I'd like very much to make artwork you like. I also don't want to be Norman Rockwell. I don't want to just make vanilla. I like to make work that makes you think, just oh God, what was his name? He was the anti-Norman Rockwell. He did a lot of old-timey paintings and drawings, but he intentionally, like, the subject matter was very dark. A mother who's pushing her children into a car, or into the lake. There was one where a farmer is driving a tractor and you see it flipping and you can see the look on the son's face and the father's face as they realize, oh shit, I'm about to watch my son die. Again, he's like the anti-Norman Rockwell, and looking at his paintings will genuinely, not all of them, but he made paintings to make you anxious, is what it feels like. He's got another one with a very small kitten and a rabid bulldog, and you can see the rabid bulldog trying to go after the kittens, and you see him on a rope that's frayed and starting to snap. The artist's whole motif is moments before destruction. And I just, dude, I don't know if that artist is still alive, but I feel like someone should check in on him. I mean, granted, I would also like to commission a piece of work of, like, KKK members in a large field burning a cross when their robes accidentally catch fire from the cross. That would be fucking awesome. I would love that painting, especially if you could humanize the white supremacists. I mean, let me see their fear. I genuinely want to feel bad for these pieces of shit. Make me feel bad for them. See if you can pull off that magic trick. That'd be a hell of a trick. That being said, I am not wishing harm on anyone. Don't burn down your local Klan rally. Best I can tell, they're on their way out the door. Most of them are very, very old. I'm not saying, like I said, I'm not saying burn down your local Klan rally. Just also don't wipe Grandpa's ass if he's a racist. Let him sit in his filth until he can do it himself with his own bootstraps. That's the thing, Chad. I am not Batman. I am not like Batman. But it's similarly adjacent to Batman in a sense. You don't hurt them, but you also don't have to save them. You know what I mean? Like with Ra's al Ghul in The Dark Knight. It was The Dark Knight. No, it was Batman. Like Ra's al Ghul in Batman. Batman Begins. Like Ra's al Ghul in Batman Begins, because I don't have an editor. Batman didn't kill Ra's al Ghul. He just didn't save him. That's what I'm asking you to do with the racists and bigots in your life. I'm not asking you to hurt them. They'll hurt themselves. I'm just saying when they inevitably hurt themselves, don't save them.
And by what stage do you think you're going to be able to turn it around?
Oh, it's already turned around.
You would acknowledge, wouldn't you, that what you are facing, okay, let's just take it as your own, what you are facing is a significant problem. This Tesla is an incredibly aspirational brand. People identified with it. They saw it as being at the forefront of the climate crisis, and now people are driving around with stickers in their cars saying, I bought this before we knew Elon was crazy.
And there are also people who are buying it because Elon's crazy, or however they may view it. So, yes, we've lost some sales perhaps on the left, but we've gained them on the right. The sales numbers at this point are strong, and we see no problem with them.
Hard take here, chat, but the right is not rich. The right is just as poor as we are. That's what makes it so sad, because they're fighting for the leopards that are eating their faces. Your only real enemy is the rich. But I'm just saying, don't waste your energy and water on people that are not going to give it back. You feel me? Yeah. Sorry about that, y'all. But I'm just saying, don't carry water for someone that wouldn't spit on you if you're on fire.
To other companies, which is that I wonder if some of what has happened to Tesla in the last few months, did you take it personally?
Yes. I'm not someone who's ever committed violence, and yet massive violence was committed against my companies. Massive violence was threatened against me. Who are these people? Why would they do that? What's wrong with these people? I've not harmed anyone. Those people will go to prison, and the people that funded them and organized them will also go to prison. Don't worry. We're coming for you.
Wouldn't you acknowledge that some of the people who turned against Tesla in Europe were upset at your politics, and very few of them would have been violent in any way. They just objected to what they saw you say or do politically.
Now, he doesn't provide her with a very meaningful answer to that question, which is why I didn't play it for you. And in fact, that entire clip was like 2 minutes 30 seconds. It would have been about 12 minutes, I kid you not, if I didn't cut out all of his meandering and superfluous bullshit. But as you can see, his petulance was on full display, and his narcissism...
That makes me sad. I'm listening to the Humanist Report. Again, y'all, I understand, but let these fuckers cook. When Trump gets up there and thinks a fucking paint job is a tattoo, let them cook, embarrass them. When you point out, oh, if I kept this clip at its original length, it'd be 12 minutes. Keep it. Put a Parks and Rec background noise on it, something like that. Lambaste them means show them for what dipshits they are. But then again, look at how good I am armchair telling professionals and pros and people that are good at their job what to do. Aren't I oh so special, chat? I ain't got all the answers from my fucking trailer in Georgia. I'm kidding, of course. Y'all, like I said, I try to do the self-deprecation to make sure y'all realize I ain't so fucking full of myself I can't lambaste myself. Cause yeah, y'all, we gotta laugh at ourselves. We are inevitably a funny, stupid species.
Try to claim that I was a Nazi because of some random hand gesture at a rally where all I said was that my heart goes out to you, and I was talking about space travel. And yet, the legacy media...
And then you Zeke Heil. Sorry, covering Elon Musk. If we're covering Elon Musk and not talking about the Zeke Heil, you're missing out on the point. Don't. Again, it's... Okay, y'all. I'm going to say a really, really bad joke that kind of turns my stomach to say it, but I'm going to say it anyway. So y'all understand this. It's like you and your buddies are sitting around the D&D table, something like that, and someone goes, oh, well, the waitress comes up and she has 2 black eyes. And the bard looks at the rogue and goes, well, I guess she ain't good at listening and taking orders, huh? Can we get another waitress? Nobody laughs. Nobody responds. Everybody just deadpan looks at him. What? It was... Oh, what, y'all can't take a joke? Whoa, we can't joke. Come on. Hey, guys, come on. You know I'm not, like, a wife beater? Yeah, maybe you're not, but you certainly are comfortable joking about it. Back to deadpan quiet stare. Well, fine, I'm sorry, okay? Better. Now sit in it for a minute and we'll forgive you. That's the point. If they know what they did, you can correct that issue. My problem is we've hit a point in people's inability to self-reflect that they just don't. It's like one of my coworkers not realizing why I still hate her even though I've put out the olive branch of some of the Trump supporters. Here's why. Because you did not vote out of fear or out of want. You voted because you're a bigot, but you hide your bigotry. You retired using your dead husband's military thing, which is fine. I'm not going to judge you. You rode that dick and got that check. I'm not judging you for that. What I'm judging you for is every time you bring a donation or a kindness for the group, okay, for example, one of our bosses. Both my bosses can cook fairly well. So we don't get pizza parties. We get soufflés or pasta or we get cakes. But you want to know what my bosses do? they go and get the ingredients, or we use restaurant ingredients in some cases if it's something we can make from the restaurant, and then they make it. It's fresh. It's good. Even if I don't like it, like in the case of, it doesn't come to mind immediately, but I know they made things that I didn't care for. You know what I do? I say thank you, I eat a very small portion as long as it's not dietarily against me, and we move on. Well, why does he do that? You've literally said you would rather eat garbage than eat the stuff I bring in. Well, there's a reason behind that, dear. Because if I, again, the key difference here is when my two bosses do it, it's fresh. When you bring it in, it's expired by at least a week. You're feeding me food that I would not feed my animals. And you expect me to not only be happy about it, but to thank you for it. Bitch, throw your food out. I'm not your composter. And again, I could even understand, oh, maybe she's just stupid. A lot of Trump supporters are just stupid. Don't inherit to malice what can be explained with stupidity or ignorance. I hear you. I feel you. I'm on that level. But if you constantly bring food in and then just leave it, no, what you're doing is conducting a hostage negotiation with garbage. You didn't want to throw it out because you feel bad for wasting the air quote food. So you want someone else to do it. And again, I could be just attributing malice to incompetence or ignorance. But it feels like, you know, she's basically just bringing in garbage food to make herself feel better. Because she is very much one of these people that, oh, everyone has to like me or else. And yeah, I know a couple people that are people pleasers, Zoe. But I'm not talking about Zoe, and with her, she tries at least. She recognizes that this isn't about helping the person, this is about me, so she makes sure that if a person says, hey, thanks for trying to help, and I mean this in the nicest way possible, but fuck off, you're annoying me. She doesn't take offense to it. It's not, oh my god, but I just, why are you so hateful? No, it's, oh shit, I'm annoying you. I meant to be helpful. I'm sorry. I'll shut the fuck up and move on. As a former people pleaser, and a bit of one still, I do the same thing. And yeah, I annoy people sometimes by trying to help. But if you tell me nicely, and you gotta say it nicely, let's be clear, don't just fuck off. But if you're nice, I'll be nice. And if you're nice once, I'm not gonna do it 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12 a week's worth more times. I'm gonna take the no and move on. But again, y'all, it's just me. Just your friendly neighborhood dwarf here. Yeah, and I'm almost out of time for us this morning, chat. Sadly, I'm about to have to go in. Because it's my closing day, it'll be a walk-in through the storm, which ain't going to be very fun, but we'll make it. I'm going with a little bit of an early start to it. And I do have 2 ponchos, and there's a pair of work shoes waiting for me when I get there. I'll put a change of socks in my bag, just in case I have to wade through the water, because here in Uharli, the reason I say it that way, mispronouncing it intentionally, is because that's how our... Type in E-E-U-H-R-L, or, sorry, E-U-H-A-R-L-E-E. Uharli is what the Cat GPT takes it as. And in the case of Uharli, they care about their business investments, and they care about their investors and their new rich little families moving in. But as far as the people, they don't give a fuck about us folks. I mean, pedestrian death is on the rise at alarming rates in America because, well, Jim Bob's got to have his ultra sidewalk road king vassal dominating emperor car. He's got to have the ultimate road king emperor ZX785. that can confidently sit your entire family, plus grandma, plus do a barbecue in the back of it, and it has a flatbed that folds out.
He's already despised. I don't even think that Republicans would
Our,
think that much if
our
the president
vehicles,
didn't handle a
chat.
lot of this
Our
aspect.
vehicles and the
So
lack
Republicans
of
fucks off or not.
proper roadway maintenance and proper side streets and sidewalks. You want to know why pedestrians are dying at an alarming rate? There you go, sweetheart. That's the reason. Because we can't get out of the way of the giant tank and we're stuck in the mud because nobody ever maintains the roads. I would argue, and this is purely a hypothesis, this is also why I've seen over 47 dead birds this month. Y'all, I'm not exaggerating. I would take pictures, but where the fuck would I put them at? That's morbid AF. But these are not like... At first I was worried like, oh shit, is this a Silent Spring sort of situation? Is this, oh god, one of these companies is dumping chemicals in the water? No, they're dying of crushed skulls and fractured spines. I personally, if I'm making a hypothesis of it, not a very good one because I'm not a scientist enough, but judging from the cracked skull and the shoulder blades being shattered and the damages about the neck, I would say, and the fact that they're in the road, they're not in the grass, they're not, well, some of them are in the grass, but it's not like they've been drug off by the local wildlife. They've been hit. They've been hit by cars. I'm hoping that it was a quick death, but, y'all, it's load. And that, don't get me started on, like, the possums, the armadillo. Oh, God, the mass death of armadillos. And then just the occasional cat, because as much as people keep telling me, oh, strays are a real problem, I don't see it. I don't see dogs that often. I don't see cats that often. I now have to take an opposite side of the road because U Harley doesn't pick up their roadkill either, and one side has roughly 2 armadillos, 3 possums, 6 birds, and soon to be a deer. I don't know how you fuckers drive with your windows down. Like, straight up, typically I'm vaping real hard when I walk through there, the THC style vapes, because I don't want to smell the decomp. And my lord, is the decomp getting bad. Why don't you fix it? What am I supposed to do, chat? Grab a wheelbarrow? I would happily do it for money. I don't even, like I said, I'm not asking to retire. Just pay me minimum wage and let me borrow the county's truck. I mean, fuck all y'all rent them bitches out to the cops all the time. And what's up with that, by the way? County workers, like at the Humane Society and all that, I always see them drive their own cars to work, and they got to keep up with their own maintenance. But I rarely see cops drive their own vehicles. Most of the time, they're either A, driving something that they've confiscated, or B, if they're not ashamed to be a cop, they're driving their squad car. So why can't, like the other city workers, have their cars, ideally made electric? But, you know, electric city cars, and every city worker gets a guaranteed fucking ride. Depending on what you do, depending on the vehicle. Because if you're working the road, you probably need a truck. If you're just delivering mail, you probably, a moped will do, depending on your route. But it's just, you know, provide them with city vehicles. Also, the city should provide the insurance and the fuel for them. Because again, y'all, if the city would pay me and give me gloves and possibly a uniform, I'd pick up the roadkill. The decomposition isn't what, well, the death isn't what bothers me. It's the decomp. It's the risk of disease. Because, again, not a doctor here, chat. I don't even play one on TV. But rotting corpses all around probably isn't good. Probably a bad move for health, you know? And then I look around and it's like, well, at least we're not a food farm belt anymore, from what I can tell. But we're still making sod and grasses and everything else. So if something like a nematode or some form of parasite got into the groundwater from all this decomposition, and that decomp got into the grass, maybe I'm causing a scare and Catlin Daughtry needs to feature me and be like, hey, quit panicking people. You're a member of the Order of the Good Death. Why are you panicking people? I'm not trying to panic nobody, but if you live in New Harley, Georgia, roll your window down and drive a little slower. Isn't it weird how much it smells like death? And I don't think that's just them killing our forest, because soon 58 acres and 2 properties is about to be sold off. Anybody that I know gonna buy it? Any human gonna buy it? Oh no, it's just gonna be some gutless, godless realtor corporation that'll turn it into mini McMansions. Because unfortunately, you Harley, country roads that I have come to know and love, yeah, no, we're gonna be a city. To make matters worse for all you hillbillies, we're gonna be Atlanta. They want Atlanta. We might be Ackworth, but they're aiming for Atlanta. And I'm all cool with being Atlanta. I want the arts and the culture and the city and the good food. I would love nothing more than to be able to, hey David, what you want to eat today? I'll go get on my bike and we'll ride out and get it. I'd love the shit out of that. Here's my problem. They're going to make rent in this area unaffordable. They're going to take all the trailer parks and sell them. They're going to put in their little mini Norman Rockwell houses everywhere and fuck us all. Honestly, Chad, I'm not that upset. I wouldn't mind living in an apartment. Here's my problem. I can't have 6 cats and 3 dogs, a micro squirrel, and a lizard in an apartment. I mean, I could do it. I'd be fine with it. The city would jump my shit, and there ain't an apartment in town that would take me. That's the thing. I don't mind if... And I think that's the big problem that people don't realize with our shitty government. If you gave people options, you would have far less people rebelling right now. But that's because, you know... I don't have an option. My option is go and work a job that I don't particularly care for the rest of my life, which will apparently be, you know, 50 now, but if you read the odds, but go and work a job I don't particularly care for the rest of my life for soon to be not a house or a trailer, but a small apartment that I can't really afford. For food that I don't like, that I can't cook because it's been so fucked with and I can't get seasonings anymore. Again, chat, what are we fighting for? That's what I'm asking here. What are we fighting for? Because if it's for God, country, and camaraderie, if it's for food and people and the American way, well, son, we need to get fighting now. We should have been fighting last year. The American way was on life support last year. I think it's dead. I think the American dream is a vegetable now. And if you want to make it not a vegetable, well, it's simple. For one, corporations aren't fucking people. They get zero cooperations that people would get. Zero. No, none. Why? Because that was where we first started to go awry. And furthermore, fine, if corporations are going to be people, so be it. When's the train company going to prison for mass murder? Or mass manslaughter, take your pick. But either way, if I run a child down, I'm going to prison for a little bit, regardless of if I was affected, inebriated, or stone cold sober. Because there should be a price to be paid for the tragic accident of taking a human life. Okay, cool. Let's talk about Tyson then. The chicken processing plant that has had over 4 chicken farmers that I know of this year kill themselves because they can't keep up with the chicken gladiator ring. Where's their responsibility? If I call someone up and I harass them until they kill themselves, that is either manslaughter or murder, and I would argue first-degree murder since it would take a lot of planning to do that. But again, if I do it, it's illegal. If Nestle does it, it's just business. Stop that shit. Either they get to be people in good standing as people, meaning Hobby Lobby gets to deny women birth control, but also Hobby Lobby, when they sell lead paint to children, has to go to prison for a while. Well, would you say? Oh, that one's fun, friend. Every CEO on the board. Every one of them. And I'm not talking bougie federal prison. No. That's for the rich folks. Your corporation isn't rich. It's over 100,000 people. splitting it up, that's only, what, a penny a person? No, no, friend, you're going to the prisons that us poor folks go to. Like I said, it's treat them like they treat you. I'm not saying be a dick, Chad. I'm saying equivalent exchange. Don't cheer for them when they die, but at the same time, don't weep either. Save your tears for the ones who deserve it. The trans kid who doesn't have anywhere to go now. The gay person who doesn't know if they're going to get to live anymore in this country. The numerous immigrants who have done nothing wrong and in fact paid more than your average white person. But now they don't know if they're going to get deported to a concentration camp to make sweatshop goods for the people that they've been helping already. If you're going to weep, Chad, I'm not saying don't weep. Fuck's sake, we could cry for ages here. But I'm saying cry for the ones that deserve it. 2 victims of a horrible terrorist attack in New York, I believe it was. The shooting where the dude unfortunately said, "Free Palestine." That shouldn't have happened. I feel bad. That fucking sucks. However, I weep more for the 300 Palestinian children that were just turned into hamburger meat this morning than I do some fucking Jewish fucking protester. Some IDF sympathizing protester. Again, I'm not saying do it. What that person did was wrong. And the fact that they brought in the fucking Jewish Voices for Peace and things like that makes it worse, not better. But again, I'm not going to weep for a fucking person who is defending genocide getting murdered. I'm not. Maybe that's in y'all, chat, but that just ain't in me. I ain't got it in me, y'all. My tears go for the victims, not for the oppressors. I will say again, undefinitively and unequivocally, the shooter's a fucking coward and shouldn't have done what they did. But in the same breath, Chad, I'm going to say if you can't protest and you can't speak out and you can't form groups and you can't make papers and you can't... If you have nothing but violence you can choose, what else are they to choose? You can't tie their hands and then get upset that they're not juggling. You can't tie their feet and hands and then be upset that they won't swim the English Channel for you. Either way, y'all, I gotta run. I'm late. I love y'all for being in the community. Thank you all 48 of y'all for being here. Holy shit, y'all. I am beside myself. My coworkers are gonna hate all of y'all because I'm not gonna shut the fuck up about this today. I am so... Y'all gave me something good to talk about, and I thank you for that. We got two more people and we can live stream. And if it happens today, I check before I stream every day. If it happens today, I might be late on the stream, but we will live stream and go live for at least an hour if I can help it. Longer if I can do that. But either way, y'all, check out Noah Sampson's stuff if you get the chance. It's N-O-A Sampson, N-O-A-H Sampson. Check out Hassan Piker. Check him out. Type it in. He's literally the most famous YouTuber I know of. Maybe check out Hannah Reloaded, capital H-A-N-N-A-H, capital R Loaded, R-E Loaded. Hannah's a really good streamer. She's a variety streamer, covers soft sits, covers transphobes, rarely these days, covers politics, very rarely these days. Can you blame her? And honestly, if you need a pick-me-up, she's a good stream to go to. She's very good. And her doctor wife occasionally co-stars with her. Either way, y'all have a good day. Also check out The Line if you get the chance. But y'all have a good day. I will see you this afternoon, hopefully, if 2 more people subscribe. If not, at the very least, we'll talk this way, chat. Be good, be strong, endure and survive, and may your mind palace be way better than my mind palace. But it's getting there. Day 83. About 4 more days and we beat the record, y'all. Alright, stay strong, parasocially love y'all. Work together or we fall alone. Endure and survive, team.